a lot of influencers, Moist Critical, Asmongold, CoffeeZilla, one of the renowned scam exposing channels, is talking about how the governments, left and right, all the people at the top of the systems that we live under and have no choice but to live under, they're having this massive conspiracy with Epstein. And they're like, wow, this is so profound. How could they keep this hidden from us? How could this be so it's obvious. There's videos, there's people talking about it, and how could they just dismiss it and not talk about it? How could Trump, this person that we hail as a savior, not talk about Epstein? And so it's a great opportunity for people who see beyond the left and right to enter this conversation and say, I kind of told you so. And a lot of these people are coming this direction, right? Tucker Carlson got kicked off of Fox News, started his own thing. Piers Morgan, uncensored, he's got his own channel now. He's interviewing people. They're all independent, doing their own thing, criticizing countries that for long you can't criticize, right? And so what's happening is this massive shift where people are going toward critical thinking, questioning all the status quo, questioning the elites. And, some of them are still holding on to strings like, hey, if the government really wants to build trust with people, release the files. The truth is, if this is what is public, imagine what is hidden. Much worse. We don't hear about all the stuff that happens in China, in Israel. We're only hearing tidbits of things that are coming to the surface after 20, 40 years. But imagine what is actually kept hidden from people, right? Imagine what is actually done on a day-to-day basis, the rituals that are performed, the sacrifices, the mentalities. So let me give you an example, okay? Right, if I do a simple search for Jeffrey Epstein, right? Which, by the way, I don't like to put faces on the screen so much, but even the Wikipedia says stuff about this, right? I want you to notice stuff about this. This is crazy, right? All the different things that he's done, all the people he's associated with. It's crazy, right? Having his own island. It's nuts to me. And I'm glad that there are influencers exposing this, because ultimately the influencers have more power than the politicians in the media at this point in this time in history, which is why there's so much suppression of information, right? But let's look up slavery. Oh, look what I just found. The books he ordered, Slavecraft, a workbook for slaves. I talk about this idea of how we are slaves to the systems that we live under, right? And here you have somebody who's associated with so many people in the power systems that be, who is actively and overtly promoting actual physical ball and chain slavery, right? In probably the worst of forms you can imagine. And not to mention, you can say they're above the law because they're working with all these lawmakers, giving tax advice for millions of dollars. People like Bill Gates, who slept overnight at Epstein's place. I've been following this very closely because this is one of the biggest cover-ups that have come to light in this day and age. But again, if that is what's come to light, what hasn't? Is my question to you. And this is my challenge to people like Asmongold and these influencers, CoffeeZilla, Moist Critical, and I believe, these are good people who are generally trying to spread the word about this. Asmongold said he's committed to talk about this every single day until it gets fully exposed. But even he admitted that he's questioning himself. The people who seek power are narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and we are literally furnishing the seat that they are going for. The average person does not want to be in charge of their fellow man, rule over them. And I've talked about democide, the top cause of unnatural death, death by government. People think of the government as a source of protection. Meanwhile, it's a source of suffering. And here you have an individual case where one person is creating thousands of victims and getting away with it. Now, some of you guys are like, well, this is really dark, Corey, so why are we talking about this? Again, there needs to be a conversation between the mainstream and the alternative. I understand my point of view is very alternative. I understand to some it's considered extreme. But there's a reason why people are starting to think like me. And there's a reason why people are leaving conservatism, liberalism, and even libertarianism. There's a reason why people are fed up and they don't vote or participate in the system, just like George Carlin said. You know, it's all a game and you're not in it. It's one big club and you're not in it. It's so dark some people can't believe it or face it. It's the sickest part of humanity. It needs to come out in full, dealt with, and never let this happen to innocent victims. That's right. And I care a lot about this. And I think a lot of people do because there's children involved. Flawless Gertie says, the seedy underbelly is a dark, dark place. Most people are not equipped mentally to grasp such evil. That's right. It's a hard thing to grasp for sure. Because it's like, wait, the people that I support, Trump, may have been in on this. You know, he was given the personal keys to Epstein. Like, Epstein was giving personal keys from Trump, and Epstein literally says that Trump is like his closest friend. Guys, look this up. This is mainstream. The footage is out there, right? And again, people like Asmongold and these other guys have been detailing it now in detail, committed to exposing it every single day. Check this out, right? Look, we need to know the truth. It's time to tell the truth, Donald. They cannot get away with this. By the way, notice how he's titling these videos. I got to take some notes. If they can cover this up, right? So what could they cover up in that case? Now, I even time-stamped a certain part in a video to show you guys.
It is partisan politics. It's the left-wing elites and the right-wing elites against the people. It's simple.
There it is.
Usually you don't see this happen, but in this case, that's what it is.
That is the Trump play right now. I don't think it's going to work.
See, so he said it's the left and the right versus the people. But wait, see what he has to say after this.
I think it's a disaster. I think it's very stupid. I think people on the right are just as interested as people on the left.
It makes me feel stupid personally for like covering, because like there's been a lot of other things that Trump has done, like for example deporting people, like the raids, the fucking getting rid of DEI and everything else, right? Like, I've been really supportive of a lot of things Trump has done, but I feel stupid even covering it right now because of just how much of an elephant in a room this is. You know what I mean? Is that weird for me to say? You suck.
Now, I think that's a very interesting observation, right? Because we know knowledge is power. When people are kept dumb, ignorant of what's going on, gosh, that's the whole foundation to the system, the nature of it. Full disclosure is available for those who seek. Cognitive dissonance is a tough shell to crack. Yeah, how many people have been exposing stuff like this for decades? And now the mainstream influencers are talking about this, right? It's simply that the right information is pushed down. People in the mainstream don't see the alternative perspectives because, well, they're not really even exposed to it. They don't even get to see it. Right now, Twitter, or X at this point, you know, Elon Musk brought a lot of people back on. People like David Icke, Mike Adams, Alex Jones, and now it's reaching a lot more people. In fact, Asmongold, his mother, was an avid watcher of InfoWars. And he's aware of a lot of the stuff they talk about. But InfoWars fell into the left versus right trap as well. And now they're like, well, yeah, we want full exposure, you know, of this information. We still want to look at the good and bad that Trump is doing. They're not looking at the nature of power. And the fact that people being ignorant, people being stupid, is what is needed for that power to exist. And as long as people are kept ignorant, they're always going to be powerless. And there's always going to be scandals like this, right? It takes self-ownership, people truly in charge of their own life, so that way these people don't have all this power to do all these crazy crimes. And that way people are more responsible over their own actions, and then they're more likely to take action when things like this happen. So that way these things never can manifest to the point where there's thousands of victims.
Duck one. Yeah, but it's a really, really big dick. It's pretty much the biggest one. Can't defend that? Yeah.
Universal issue, as it should be. If there are predators in the highest offices in the land, be they Democrat or Republican, we want to know about it.
That's right, bro. I fucking
It doesn't matter the title or the position. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we are all bound to the same morality. But see, we create an exemption to that the minute we enter politics, because we say certain people have the right to rule, these other people don't. These people, because they have their name on a certain piece of paper, they're citizens. These other people, they aren't. You say, oh, well, we've been doing it this way for thousands of years. We're literally categorizing our fellow human beings, putting them putting them attached to a certificate, like a slave who has to get permission to be on a certain plantation, who cannot go to another plantation or another country. And then they escape one plantation to another plantation, they're still on a plantation, right? Because they're controlled under a system that if they go against, they're going to be coerced against their will. Now tell me, I'm sure there's nuance to be found here, okay? Because again, I respect people like CoffeeZilla and Asmongold, and they're just sharing what's happening. But you can see how they're breaking, in a sense. Their audience is also not playing into the left versus right. I mean, if you look at the comments and what they're getting, it's like, yeah, this has been happening. A lot of people in the chat is like, yeah, this is what has been happening. So people are starting to understand that we can't play this game any longer. They know that no one wants to admit that they are wrong and got fooled. Yeah, see, nothing new. You guys would say nothing new, but for a lot of people, this is very new, and this is shocking. And for me, it's still shocking because I don't like to hear about it, right? And I don't like to see anything like that happen to anybody. What's been happening even with Diddy, right, in Hollywood. I mean, it's crazy how this story is being exposed at the same time, relatively, as what happens in Hollywood. And again, it's another power system where we're putting people on pedestals, the celebrity that we have to worship. And it's like, yeah, I got to follow the celebrity, right? and do everything that they're doing. I mean, we have this dependence mindset in humanity, and it's really screwing us over.